Alright, so we're going to change the cabin air filter on this 2019 VW Tiguan. So I'm using an aftermarket part here. It's not a factory part, it's a Peter later. The cabin filter is carbon infused, so we'll take a look at it in a second. It was $19 out the door from Advanced Auto Parts, and the part number is up here. I do recommend, if you're going to put in parts, use only factory parts. But in this case it was after hours and I've had some issues with our dealership and parts. So I'm going with this one instead, and hopefully it works out all right. Alright, so this cabin air filter is located behind the glove box, so passenger side door, and then we get to the glove box. What's really nice about this one is that you don't need any type of tools to do it. You can do it completely tool free, which is nice. I change a lot of cabin air filters on Fords, and I can tell you sometimes those are quite extensive. You have to take quite a bit apart to get to it, not just pulling the glove box. So this one you actually don't even have to take the glove box all the way out. You can actually leave the bottom hinged. So I'll get it set up here and I'll show you exactly what we need to do. Okay, so in order to do this, I moved the seat up a little bit so that when you open a glove box, it'll actually rest on the seat when you release it. So there's going to be two tabs up on the top. So open up the glove box, and you want to make sure, like I said, that seat's ahead. If not, the slide mechanism that lets it drop, it'll come right out of that guide. You can put it back in, but it will dump out all the contents in your glove box. So the next thing is the tabs to release. So if you look on top here, you'll see right here there's a tab. You can kind of see that. All you're going to do is lift up on that tab with your finger, and you can kind of see the box already moved. And there's another tab on the other side. And then all you do is make sure those tabs are up, and then the glove box will come down. So you might have to kind of work one side down and then go to the other side and kind of pull down on the box, and then just like that it comes down. Alright, so that's the slide mechanism for the glove box. So like I said, if for some reason you don't have the seat down, this U-channeled rod here will come out of this guide, and it'll just allow your glove box to dump. So you want to make sure that you have the seat far enough ahead, or that you catch the glove box as you're coming out. Here's the rubber stopper here, and that's what hits that tab that's underneath right here. So when you push this up, that gives you enough space for the glove box to bypass that to drop the glove box. So all right, let's get to the next step here. All right, so underneath this honeycomb cover here is going to be your cabin air filter. Most cabin air filters are going to have a cover that looks like this with this honeycomb design. This one in particular, we got some tabs that go down into these slots. So you want to make sure you don't break those off. You can't pull it off towards the bottom. I mean, I guess you could, but then you will snap those tabs off. So this one actually releases from the top, and there's 3 keepers on the top here. So the way you release this, at least the way I release it, and again I said this is toolless, I put my index finger back behind this little tab here, and you can kind of see how this moves. And then there's a tab on the actual honeycomb part here. Pull down and kind of pull, and you can see that kind of releases. And you do the same type of thing in the middle one here as well. That one's not as easy to do, especially if you had another free hand, which I don't because I'm holding the camera. I'd keep the hand on this tab here, push down on that one and kind of pull. And then the same thing on the end here, you got another one of these that you have to push down to get that open. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one-handed. It's pretty snug. No, I'm not going to be able to do that without shutting the camera off. Let me shut the camera off and see if I can get this off. Alright, so I got it loose here. And like I said, 2 hands, no problem. You just keep a hand on this tab here and kind of pull, and then you push down as you go. And like I said, there's keepers here, so you're going to pull this out like that. You can see what I was talking about, how there's tabs on that. And this only goes in one way. And behind that is going to be your cabin air filter. Now the one thing to note is on this filter it's going to say the airflow, and it'll have arrows pointing, and this one says top as well. It's got some part numbers there, VW, but it shows airflow, and the way we're looking at this, the arrow is going down, so that's the direction you want to make sure the airflow is going when you put the new cabin air filter in. Okay, so to get it out, we're just going to kind of grab in here, just kind of get a hold of it wherever you can. Just pull it out carefully. You don't want to drop any debris if you don't have to. This car's got 29,000 miles on it, so if that gives you any idea what you're expecting to look for here. So looks pretty dirty here. We'll take a look at this one and a new one. Alright, so here are the two cabin air filters. So this is the original one. A lot more pleats, as you can tell. A lot of pleats. This one's obviously pretty dirty. Some leaves in there and whatnot. Both sides are pretty dark. Now this one, like I said, was carbon infused, so this is the one side. And if we flip it over, this side's kind of dark already. There's like some stuff in there. But the pleats are much bigger. Now, when we look at this one, here's the interesting part that may or may not be confusing. So you're seeing the arrows facing up and the writing being the right side up. So now, if these arrows indicate the same thing that this filter over here indicates, that means when we put it in, it would go like this, and the writing's upside down and our arrows are facing down. I'm not sure if that's right, but I'm going with what the arrows go. We have the same thing at work because we use all the CarQuest filters here, or advanced filters, same thing. You'll pull out a Ford filter and it has the arrow facing the direction, and the direction and the writing on the filter is the same. So like this one, all the writing is right side up with the arrow facing down, and it says top. And you get this filter, well, if you're going to put the arrow in the same direction, the writing is now the wrong way. It's upside down. So what do you go by, the writing or the arrow? I'm going to go by the arrow. I'm not sure that that's right. And like I said, there's this carbon side as well, but we're going to put it in this way with the arrow facing down, and hopefully that's the correct orientation. Alright, so you can see in there, there's the little fan in there for your HVAC. You know, it's not a bad idea just to look, see if there's anything in there. If you got some leaves or maybe pine needles or something, you could take a vacuum and just get that out of there so you don't have that rattling around in there. This one looks pretty good, so we'll get set here to put that filter in. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get this filter in there. So, and that's not all the way in. It'll get to a point here where it kind of doesn't want to go, and you got to give it a little bit more of a push, and then it'll kind of slide in. That looks like that's in all the way. The honeycomb cover, that should go over without any type of resistance. So, and then it's just kind of reverse. We're going to set the bottom in first on those tabs. Make sure that's set in right, and then when you push, it should just snap on the top there. And that is the cabin air filter installed. Alright, so just like before, when we took the glove box down, you're going to want to push those tabs up so that we can clear this here. So as you're doing that, it might be easier just to kind of get in there, and you're just going to make sure that they're bypassing those little rubber stoppers, and then you can double check to make sure your glove box stops, closes correctly, and there you go. That's going to be the install for that. Alright, so we're going to wrap this up here. So there again, like I said, hopefully we got it in the correct orientation with those arrows. I guess we'll kind of see. This car's got the 29,000 miles on it to 2019, so you can kind of see what the filter looks like after that amount of mileage. Obviously, idling hours will change that. I know at work we got guys that idle their vehicles a lot, and those filters get dirty quickly. So, and like I said, good deal with VW here. That was a nice design. No tools needed to change that. Pretty simple on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say it's like a 2 maybe. I know some of the newer Fords, the F-250s, you need tools to do the cabin air filter, and then like their Flex and Escape, those are just, they're difficult. They're not very nice, not very friendly. This one's real simple. That part of this. There's other stuff on this car that's a little questionable, but cabin air filter, good design, I like it, and hopefully this video helps you out. Thanks.